Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I have my April favorites for you. So we are about to go into the month of May. I can't even believe that we're going into a new month, but there are some products that I absolutely loved and put to quite a bit of use for the month of April. I want to share those with you. Maybe there is something of interest here to you, or it might be something you already own that you still need to pull out of your drawer and put to use. So let me show you what worked and worked amazingly for me for the month of April. Okay, so I do have a couple of primers in here for this month. One of them is the Dr. Brandt Pores No More Pore Refining Primer. This is not a new primer. I ended up picking it up during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty at the end of March, and I don't think I expected to love this as much as I did. It's a very kind of silicone type feeling product. Maybe not as silicone-y as the Pores No More. It just, I mean, literally comes out kind of like the, not Pores No More, the Benefit Professional. But something about this just gives me a good makeup day every time I use it. I don't know what it is, but I love it. And so, like I said, this is the first time I've picked it up, and I picked it up because of the 21 Days of Beauty. And I am so excited, not only that I love it, but that I got such a good deal on it. The other primer that I really have been enjoying, and I loved it ever since I started using the little deluxe sample that I got at Sephora, this is the Too Faced Primed and Peachy Cooling Matte Skin Perfecting Primer. Now, I don't know if this is kind of working the same way the Dr. Brandt is because of the consistency, but something about this also has been giving me great makeup days. Lately, primers have been just a win for me because you know I have a couple other favorites in the Tatcha Silk Canvas and the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched. So I don't know, I've been either selecting really good primers, or companies have just been releasing good primers as of late. But this is the one that came out in that Too Faced set that I recently picked up. So it is not the full size. I'm totally okay with that. This is a lot of product. But it's kind of the same thing. You get like a... too much came out right there. It's almost like a silicone-y type of texture. It's very similar to the Dr. Brandt. It has a peachy smell, which is super, super yummy. I am not opposed to scents in my products, and so I love it. Gives me a good makeup day every time I use it. So those two have really been amazing as far as primers go. A third primer, I know. I also picked this one up during the March 21 Days of Beauty at Ulta. It's the Smashbox Primer Water. Again, it's nothing new, but honestly, I had tried it out when it first came out, and I was like, I don't get it. I don't know what all the hype is for. But then again, that was before sprays became the big thing. Well, a lot of people have loved this thing over time, and I thought, okay, I'm going to try it again now that it's back with the 21 Days of Beauty, and it's on sale, so I'll pay $16 for it, and I have ended up loving it. It makes my skin feel very refreshed, and my makeup goes on so easily when I use this. So again, in keeping with the primers, this has really been great. So I'm not having any bad makeup days here lately. Okay, a couple of application items. One is this Morphe sponge. Now, if you watch Jaclyn Hill, you know she talks about this and uses this left and right. Quite frankly, I'm always kind of skeptical of Morphe because I'm not crazy about their eyeshadows. I love the Jaclyn Hill palette. I think the quality of that is on another level when it comes to the brand, but I've never been super impressed with their eyeshadows. Now, I have not used their brushes. I know Jaclyn talks about them all the time, and that's why I've always been kind of skeptical. Like, okay, really, are they that good? Or maybe because you work with the brand. But I ended up trying the sponge because, as you know, Morphe is now carried at Ulta, and so this sponge was $7. My beauty blender, who knows where it went. It's in its own little world with all my bobby pins and a few other things that I can't find, but which is really bizarre because it's the hot pink beauty blender, the original, and I can't for the life of me find it. And I kind of thought, well, let me try this $7 one before I buy another beauty blender. And oh my goodness, so she is so right. This sponge is incredible. The fact that it's got these little slanted edges makes it so easy to get into the under eye if you want to contour, if you want to go in with your baking powder, whatever it is. This thing is really great. I have been loving this, and honestly, it's super dirty. But for $7, you can get a couple of these for the price of a beauty blender. Don't get me wrong. Beauty blender, I think, is in a class of its own. It's really an amazing sponge. In my opinion, it is the best. But this is a really close second, and for the price, again, you can buy two. I love how my application has been with that sponge. Another application product that is really probably more intended for the body lava is the Fenty Beauty Face and Body Kabuki brush. So this was released in conjunction with her body lava and in her little poofy glitter powder thingy. And so I picked it up with the intent to use it for foundation on the face. I really didn't want to pay for a brush just to apply the body lava. So because it also says you can use it for the face for cream and powder products, I thought I'm going to try it out. And oh my goodness, this thing is, if you have any of the Fenty brushes, you know they're very soft and they apply product very well. So my favorite is that foundation brush that looks kind of like a little bear claw. This thing applies foundation so quickly, so easily, and so smoothly. You would think that with like bristles like this that it would kind of end up looking streaky. It doesn't. This thing is really good size, and it's a good like little handle. And because there is a lot of space going on here, you cover a large amount of space in a short amount of time. So it's really easy to get like quick, nice and simple application with this brush. I'm really impressed by this brush. Love using it. Again, makes application so simple. The next couple of items are actually liners, one which I did pick up during, again, the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, and it is the Tarteist. Let's see, it's the Double Take Eyeliner. I love that it is double-ended. It's got pencil on one side and it has got felt tip on the other. I'm not huge on felt tips because I feel like the Kat Von D tattoo liner, and then there was another one, like the little Sharpie marker by Too Faced, I forget what it's called. Those I feel like you can be lining your eye, and then if you're wearing a glittery or a foiled type of shadow, once you get halfway, it's almost like the ink just stops and you get streaky, and it's just, I hate honestly using the felt type of liners until this one. This one stays rich and black your whole line through. I don't prefer to do a wing with this, however I will if I have to, because the tip is very skinny, so it makes it a little bit easier for those of us that are wing creating challenged. That even makes sense. I'm challenged at creating a wing a lot of the time. A lot of times I'll have to hold my breath so that I don't shake and I can make a straight line. Anyways, this really has helped me out, and it's so rich. What I usually use it for is to line my upper lid, but without the wing, and I love it. So the other side, now I won't say that the pencil side is the best pencil I have ever used, but it sure makes it convenient to have both of them together, and honestly, it's pretty decent. I also like that I don't have to sharpen it, so this is what the pencil side looks like. Twist it up and it's very skinny. The only thing is when you first use it, it's very hard to get the pigmentation out. It feels very like it hurts on your waterline, but let me show you what these two look like. So the pencil and the marker. The marker is crazy. Okay, so here you go. So obviously the richer one is the marker, and then the skinnier one is the pencil. These are really good, and it stays rich all day long. The other pencil that this is probably now my favorite pencil, black pencil of all time. It was $3. It's by Essence, and it's the Extreme Lasting Eye Pencil. It's waterproof, and it is in 01 Black Love, and it is up to 16-hour wear. Now, I'm super skeptical about those kind of claims because for pencils, nothing really stays on my waterline. I had people tell me that the Marc Jacobs Highline liner, like once you put it on your waterline, that's where it stays all day. I didn't have that experience. Like a few hours down, it just had really faded. This one I am finding really stays on my waterline for pretty much most of the day. And just your typical black liner. They also had a Kajal liner. I opted for this one because of the 16-hour wear and the claim that it was extreme lasting. So this is what it looks like right there. I'm assuming because it's waterproof, that's what helps it stay put in your waterline, but love this one, and it was only $3. Okay. The next item, I picked up a couple of these on Sephora Weekly Wow a few weeks ago, and it is the Makeup Forever Starlit Liquid. Originally, when I had tried this out in store, I wasn't super crazy about it, but to me, it's all in the application. So it is so you know their Starlit powder, which is a big deal. Well, this is super intense as well in liquid form. It looks like a nail polish. So the bottle and the brush look like a nail polish. It looks like you could just start painting your nails with this. The original, so the first time that I had put this on, I had literally gone in with the little brush and dab it onto my face, and so I didn't like how it dried down. I just wasn't crazy about it. Well, what I have been using lately, just because they've been coming out with a lot of glitter products, is I just take my Anastasia A23, I take out the applicator, and I grab my brush and take some product off of this brush. That helps it apply so much smoother, so much easier, and I can't tell you, that's made the world of difference for this. This thing amps up my highlighter very, very much. It's very sparkly, so if you don't like sparkle in your highlight, you wouldn't like this. But this is what that one looks like. This is shade 02. I picked up 02 and 03. I think they were like 12 bucks on Weekly Wow a few weeks ago, and I have been loving those. Again, if I can find something to take my highlight to even another level, I'm there. So the next few products that, oh my gosh, for April have really had my heart. So the Anastasia Amrezy highlight. So when I had first picked this up, honestly, it was just kind of like, I thought it was beautiful, but not anything like different than, you know, it's kind of like, okay, it's beautiful. It's very bam in your face, very intense. It's a pretty gold, but honestly, you can probably find quite a few similarities in your collection. Well, the more I use this, the more I love it just so much. So what I have found with this, it just blends into my skin. It doesn't sit over top like another layer. It blends in while still maintaining that intensity, which is really difficult for a highlight. So you've seen this all over. This is not anything new. It's got the little waves, and it's like the perfect shade of gold. I think it's suitable for so many skin tones. It's not too deep for me, but yet I see this being beautiful on deeper skin tones as well. So I just love this. The more you build it up, the more intense and glowy it gets. And again, it just kind of melts into the skin. It doesn't sit over top looking powdery and cakey. This thing is amazing. And I'm not really one for buying backups of products, but this is something I would consider buying a backup of just because it's that good. The next thing is also highlighter, whatever. And it was actually part of the Kylie Weather collection. I think a lot of people hated that collection. I love her eyeshadows, and those eyeshadow palettes were a little bit of a miss for me, even though I still put them to use because I do like some of the shades. This was the highlighter palette. Now, honestly, when I first got it and the first few times I used it, I was like, meh, I don't know if this was kind of one of those regret purchases, but honestly, the more I use it, the more I love it. Just like that Amrezy highlight. This is so amazing. The intensity of these highlighters is crazy. I love her highlighters. She just always does it right when it comes to the glow and the intensity of her highlighters. I know a lot of y'all aren't crazy about her products, but I do like to pick up some of the items in her collections when they come out because I have found that they work for me quite a bit. So this palette ended up coming with 4 shades, and so you've got a couple that are a little bit more on the subtle side, not really subtle, but kind of on the powdery side, and then you've got 2 that are a little more on the chunky side. What I mean by that is that they've got like the sparkle in them to kind of take them up a notch. So my favorites to use are these 2, but honestly, I like mixing these 2 as well. And these just really stand out on the cheeks, and I have been loving using this. I have not been able to put it down. Literally, I have been using it on a daily. So let me kind of give you swatches. That's 3 of the swatches there. Again, the first time I had used it, the first few times I was like, okay, nothing special, and I totally changed my mind this month with this palette. I will also say that a lot of what I am finding is with highlight is it's all in the application, and the Anastasia A23, if you're on the hunt for a good highlighting brush, that has been my ride or die for like ever since it released, what, 2 years ago, maybe 3? Ever since it released, that is the only brush pretty much that I have been using for highlight. I feel like it picks up the perfect amount of product. It's dense enough without being too dense, and it is large enough to dispense easily and quickly. I love it. For me, there is no other highlighting brush but that one. So have been loving this product. I have just a few more products left. The other is actually also a kind of a Kardashian product. It's the KKW and Mario palette. I have been loving this so much. Again, as with a couple other things in this favorites video, I didn't expect to love this as much as I did. I honestly picked it up because I was interested to try it. This was her first palette, and there were a couple of foiled shades in here that I really thought I would be able to put to good use. I did not expect the quality to be this good, the pigmentation to be this good. I didn't figure it would blend and go on this easily, and honestly, I have loved this so much that I would rank it close to like the Pat McGrath palettes. I know somebody is going to laugh at me for that because Pat McGrath is kind of in a league on her own, but with those palettes, I have never been 100% these are the best palettes ever. Really, I haven't for the price tag. This, I think, is just, I think this can give that some good competition. I really, really loved this palette, the blue of course being what everyone was talking about, and then it's just got some really great shades that you can like make it neutral, you can amp it up, you can tone it down, and I've been putting this to really, really good use. Again, more than I thought I was going to. It was, in my opinion, definitely worth the purchase. Okay, the last eyeshadow palette for my favorites this month is the Violet Voss the Rainbow eyeshadow palette. I included this in a Sephora haul sometime back, and so you know, if you've been watching my channel for pretty much the life of my channel, you know that I do like neutrals. It is not what I gravitate towards. When it comes to lippies, when it comes to eyeshadow palettes, the brighter, the better. I love color, I love bright, I love intense, and this is no joke. This thing is probably the brightest, most intense palette I own, and that's because I've got a couple of the Electric palette by Urban Decay and that Sephora Pro palette, the editorial one that had all those neon shades. I feel like this is just so rich in color. It's just very saturated that this really takes the cake as far as brightest. I mean, some of these shades and they're so buttery soft. They're just perfect summer shades. You can do a lot with this. Look at this. This is crazy. And that's because I didn't dig in the pan. I literally just swirled. Super buttery, super intense, and honestly, it's probably my favorite bright palette. So that's what those look like down there. If you're looking for a good summer palette with bright shades like this, I would go with this. It's 30 bucks and it has like, I think 8 shades, and they are very, very rich in pigmentation, very easy to use. The only difference is, or the only thing is that a lot of people don't like, is that you kind of have to supplement another palette with this one. So if you're going to want to make really like a, you know, full-blown look, you need a few mattes, but that's okay. To me, that's nothing of a deal breaker. In fact, I don't mind doing that because it gives me the opportunity to put more of my palettes to use. Is this something you'd travel with? Probably not. If you want to travel with it, just take a supplemental palette, but this is amazing. It's right up there with Violet Voss quality. The last thing is a very festival type item. I don't go to festivals. I know that that's a whole makeup trend right now, but this is the Tarte, what is this called? The Mermaid Glitter Gel. This was part of their Mermaid collection. I was not going to pick this up until I swatched it in Ulta, and I was blown away, and I was like, okay, me being the sparkle glitter person that I am, I need to put this to use. And so it's a gel glitter, little pot of glitter. This is what it looks like. It doesn't look like anything spectacular until you grab some. So literally a little bit goes a very long way. I like to put it down the sides of my eyes, and let me see where I'm going to put this. Let's put it over here, I guess. And it's very iridescent. Let's see, are you going to be able to see it? I don't know. There it is right there. So let me try a different swatch in a different place because that is just too difficult. So it's right up here. I don't even know if you're going to be able to tell. It's that chunky glitter that's right there. It's got like holographic big chunks of glitter. So if you remember my MAC Hearts and Stars that I picked up that like I had put right here, it's kind of like that. It's got like really large flakes almost of iridescent glitter, and it's really, really nice. Like I said, you don't need a lot, and it looks really good. Almost like, you know, you turn and it's kind of lavender, and you turn and it's just really nice. So I don't think the price tag is bad either. I think it was like 18 bucks. But like I said, I had to try it out first because I was super skeptical about it when I had first seen that it released. When I tried it out, I was like, done, I need to buy this. Okay guys, that brings us to the end of my April favorites. So quite a bit of stuff that I have really been loving and putting to good use. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you found some things that were interesting to you. I do want to give you the verse of the day at this point. If you're new to my channel, I love to give a verse of the day with every video that I post, because in reality, it's not all about the makeup. I love makeup, but I also love to give y'all encouragement. And what better way to encourage you than directly from the Bible? So today's comes from 2 Peter 3:9. I may have already stated this one in a video past, but it is one of my favorites, and it is again 2 Peter 3:9, and it says, "The Lord is not slow in keeping his promise, as some understand slowness. He is patient with you, not wanting anyone to perish, but everyone to come to repentance." Guys, if you're new to my channel, you haven't heard me say that Jesus loves you so very much. Again, I love makeup, but I love Jesus so much more, and I just want to share that with you and encourage you, and just know that you are loved. Not sure what you're going through in life right now, but just know that he's just a prayer away. Ask him to help you, and he will. He'll be right there by your side. Guys, thank you again for watching. Take care. I will be back very soon with another video. Love you guys. Bye.